everyone, Mr. Scott here. Today we're going to do a craft for upcoming Mother's Day. It's a really cool craft, and I dropped off all the stuff that you need to make it. You are going to need some help from your dad or even your mom if you're making the gift for your grandma or something like that. So I'm going to go over all the instructions on how to make this craft. What we're making is a hanging mason jar plant. It'll look really cool when it's done. You can hang it on the wall. It'll be a great gift, and plus it'll be made by you, which is a special gift for your mom. All right, so the bags that I dropped off today have a whole bunch of things in there. So I'm going to go through everything that's in the bags so you know what you have and what you're going to need to complete the project. All right, when it's all said and done, I'll give you an idea of what our project is going to look like. It's going to look like one of those. Pretty cool, huh? So let's go over what's in the bags that I dropped off today. All right, the first thing you have in your bag is your board. This is what your mason jar or your plant is going to be hanging off of. As you can see when you're looking at it, there's a little hole right around this area of your board. All right, the side that has the hole is the front of your board. We're going to be using that hole in a little bit. All right, so before we start anything, we are going to paint our boards. So this is something that you want to do outside. If you're on a table, put a drop cloth down or some newspaper. You may want to get your parents to help you with this. I did include some stain, and it's a little can that looks like this. All right, we want to try to avoid getting that on our hands. If you have gloves, wear gloves. I did include a paintbrush for you to use. You can also use a rag to rub it on the board. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver to open up the can, and one of your parents can show you how to do that. You want to mix it up real good before you use it. You can use a stick of some sort to really mix the stain before you actually use it. All right. When it's ready to go, you want to paint both sides of the board, including all the edges. All right. We want the whole board painted. All right, we really can't continue the project until we do that and let it dry. So that's the first step. Paint your board and then let it dry. It shouldn't take too long to dry, but especially if you leave it outside in the sun. So paint all that, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so let's begin. So now you're going to take your board. Now, my board's not painted. Let's pretend it is, though. Yours should be painted at this point. It should be fairly dry, so you're not getting stain on your hands as you're using it. All right, you're going to locate that little hole that I told you about. You see mine right there. I want you to find that hole. That's where your hook's going to go. So you're going to take your hook, and you can see the hook has a screw at the bottom of it. All right, you're gonna put your screw right into that little hole, and then you're gonna twist it all the way in. All right, so that's gonna be the top of your board. So when you're done, it's gonna look just like that. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our smaller string, find our smaller string. And again, this is going to be used to actually hang the mason jar from the hook on the board. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your mason jar, and you're going to, with your hands, you're going to create a loop just like this. See how I'm holding down here? I'm holding the string to the sides of the mason jar. And I kind of want to measure. All right. So I'm going to actually hook it onto my board. I'm still holding on to the strings with my hand. And I want my mason jar to be hanging down, not lower than the board itself. I want the board to be lower than the mason jar. All right, so find a good distance so you can actually see the board. See how you can see the board below the mason jar? All right, so once you have that good distance, keep holding on to that string. All right, so take it off your board. Keep holding on to that string and take your rubber band and go around your mason jar to hold that string into place. All right, so now I have the right distance. My rubber band is holding it on. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the top of my string and I'm going to just tuck it into the jar for right now. All right, so it looks like that. Just tuck my string into the jar. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the longer piece of string, and you see this rib right on the mason jar, the part that sticks out? We're going to put our string around the mason jar under that rib, all right? And we're going to go over the small string, all right? So it's going to go around twice. So I'm going to come around, and you're going to pull it real tight. And then when you go around twice, then you're going to tie it like you would tie your shoe. All right, a little bow. And you can play with this a little bit more after. Make sure it stays nice and tight. And make a little bow. Okay, so mine looks like that. All right. Now, we want our bow to be where it says ball, because that's going to be the front of our mason jar. See, it's B-A-L-L. This is going to be the front. So we want make sure our bow is towards the front, so we see it when it's hanging down from the board. All right. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to pull out carefully our small string. Now, this small string is underneath the large string. We're going to tie it tight to the large string. All right, so pull it up from the rubber band, and you're going to just tie a knot. And again, you can have your parents help you do this. So tie a nice knot on both sides, so it actually is tying the knot to the longer string. Okay, nice and tight. And now your mason jar hangs. With the scissors, with the scissors, you want to cut the excess string. So now, you can take the rubber band off. Now I have my hanging mason jar. Okay? All right, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put our plant into our mason jar. So I have these fake little plants. Again, you can go out and get your own plants if you want, flowers if you want. It's up to you. I've included a plant. I'm going to show you a little trick on how to put this in. Now, you can put it right on top like this, but that's pretty loose right there, and it'll move around. So what I like to do is I take the bottom leaves and I fold them down. Okay? Take the bottom leaves and fold them down. And now you want to put it into your jar with them folded down. And as you let go of them and put your jar in, those leaves pop out and actually make your plant more secure. All right. And now, once your plant's in, you can look at it again, put it back on, see what it looks like. It looks really nice. All right, and we got one more thing to do. All right, now that our mason jar is complete, we got our last step is to put little hangers on the back of our board so we're able to hang this up in our home. And what I got is I got these little things right here. All right, along with this, now in your kit, you should find two tiny little nails. You can barely see them, they're tiny. All right, we're gonna use these two nails to put this in the back of our board, on the back side and on the top back side. We don't want to put it in the middle, we want to put it on the top. So you find your hook, all right, it's going to go on the back side of your hook, and you want to get it in the middle, and then you're going to take your two nails, and with a hammer, you're going to lightly tap those down. You might want to get a parent to do this. It is kind of tricky. You can hit your finger if you're not careful, but try to get that in the top middle so this is all secure on the back, and then it can easily hang on the wall. All right, So those are all the steps. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email or shoot me a text. I hope you enjoyed doing it. I can tell you right now, moms love gifts that are made by you. And I know they'll really like this one. It's a wonderful craft. It's beautiful. And, you know, every time mom looks at it, she's going to think of you. So great job. Thanks for working with me on this. And we'll see you all soon. Bye.